Hello. Water. Something we take for granted every day. We just assume it's safe. Maybe we need to think again. That's coming up next on Coffee with Vic. Hello. Welcome to Coffee with Vic. I'm your host, Vic Vogel. Today, I want to take just a few minutes at the coffee table and talk a little bit about something that really we all need to start thinking about seriously, and that is clean water. It's becoming an issue in this country, and I just want to share with you a site, and I will put this site in my description down below so you can go visit it and check it all out for yourself. But this site kind of represents the things that are going on, and I'm not sure everybody is totally aware. We just take for granted clean water, whether it's drinking water, whether we're cooking with it, whether we're making coffee with it. We just assume it's contaminant free because we're trusting our government and our officials to process it correctly, and that to regulate it and check on it. And maybe that's something we ought to challenge every now and then. So let me just take a second here. This is a PAFS contamination in the U.S. chart. PFAS, just you can go look it up yourself on the website here when we get it all logged into the description. But basically, these are contaminants that come off of things like plastics and other things like that that get into our water system somehow. And the dilemma becomes that these are, when they are above a certain level, potential carcinogen issues. And now what I want to draw your attention to, because I live in Brighton, Michigan, and I want to draw your attention to, Michigan up here as compared to much of the other parts of the country. If we look at Michigan, for example, right here, we see it has a predominant amount of contaminated drinking water and unknown sites. We don't have very many military sites, so you don't see any purple dots up here. But the vast majority of the drinking water up here shows levels beyond what the government considers acceptable standards for safety. We see quite a bit over here on the East Coast, and pockets of it down here in Southern California. And then after that, you can see the contaminated areas are more densely populated areas, for one thing. Over here in these parts of the country, we don't see as much contamination as we do, say, in major metropolitan areas, although Colorado is a major metropolitan area, but it doesn't have near the contamination as does Seattle or Minneapolis or even Dallas, Texas, for that matter. But along the California coast, along the northeast coastline, and here between Michigan, between all of these Great Lakes. Now, I'm not saying it's around water structures that this happens, but I mean, that's one common denominator. There could be many, for example, up here in northern Alabama and northern Georgia. There's quite a density issue up here. So I don't know what causes this, but I do know, as people in this who live in these areas, we need to be concerned we definitely need to be concerned about fresh drinking water. This is something you want to present to your representatives and your state, your governor, the representatives in your state, and the U.S. representatives for environmental protection agencies. We don't want to find ourselves deregulating things that can create health hazards for us, things that can kill us. Okay. So, something to consider. I thought I'd just kind of bring it up on Coffee with Vic here. I think it's something that most of us aren't aware of. We don't hear about it. I kind of got heads up on this when I saw a brief segment on a CBS news clip. But it is something we need to pay attention to as a public. We all need to take a little more interest in our environment and what's going on in our environment. And you may downplay it, but if you do, you're doing it to your own detriment and your own health and the own health of your children and their children. So check into this, start taking an interest in your city, your schools, whether they are in fact regulating this or checking it out like they're supposed to be doing and making the changes to make it safe. It's just one of those things that you hold your government accountable for doing and doing correctly. Okay. All right. Just thought I'd mention this. You have a good day. This is Coffee with Vic, where we talk about things like this. And I'm Vic Vogel, your host.